So guys, going to answer a question today I got through regarding, well in fact I'm just going to read it out to you. My question I got through was, Ryan, I'm particularly anxious about my family members, or especially my daughter, ever needing to go to the hospital or doctors. What would you say regarding this? Also, what would you have, or what would you recommend for some natural remedies to some of the most common everyday type ailments such as headaches, nausea, burns, grazes, toothaches, etc. So, gonna get to answer that. Before I do, as always, people, if you haven't already, please go and follow me on Telegram, because as I said before, there's only certain things I'll be sharing here. I won't share it all because of getting censored, banned, etc. So, Telegram, just Revive. I think it's revive_yourself. You can search me there. Also, go and put your email address in. If you go to www.reviveyourself.co, email and name in there, you'll be on my mailing list. Therefore, you won't miss anything. Because as I said before, some of the content I'll be putting out won't be on Instagram or Facebook just because of the censorship and banning, etc. So I have to be careful what I say. So, on to today's question, Ryan, what would you do what would be your recommendations for some of the most common ailments? And I'm really anxious about my doctor ever needing to go to the doctors or to the hospital. So, first things first, doctors and the hospital, they're like a tool. You know, you only use a certain tool when needed. You know, you wouldn't use a knife to eat a bowl of cereal, for example. And doctors should only be used in life or death situations. You know, if you need stitches, if you've got broken bones, if you've had first degree burns, then yes, you go to doctors because they can help you, and that's what they're there for, accident and emergency. Everything else you don't need them for, okay? All they'll do is give you painkillers or drugs or antibiotics for things you don't need. I mean, for years they've been giving antibiotics out for viral infections, even though we now know what viruses are. And being an expert in viruses is like being an expert in unicorn. So it's not what they say it is. It just doesn't exist. So this is why it's really important to understand you are your best doctor. It's one of the things that I like to do with my clients. Not only do I want to get them healthy, I want to teach them how to stay healthy. You know, you don't need someone else to treat you. You know, if you go out to dinner, so I'm going to treat you. It's what people do with doctors. They go for treatment. If I said I was going to treat you for dinner, you think I'd be paying for it, right? But I want you to really understand how you can do these things yourself. So common, he said, common everyday type ailments such as headaches, nausea, burns, toothache, etc. When it comes to things like headaches, I'd be asking, well, why have you got a headache to begin with? You know, generally, are you dehydrated? Are you super stressed? Have you been exposed to fragrances or volatile organic compounds? Have you had something inflammatory or allergenic, things that can cause that? E numbers, for example, aspartame. Have you been having that? What have you done to cause it? That's the first thing. Nausea as well. What's been causing that? Once again, could be down to foods, could be a certain situation, could be stress. You know, burns and grazes. Raw honey is fantastic for burns. Grazes, aloe vera as well. And rather than going to the shop and buying a bottle of aloe vera for like £20, just go to your local nursery, garden centre, get a plant for like £5-10, and you have like enough there for a few months. You just open up the leaf and you put it on. Nothing better for burns or skin conditions than aloe vera, pure aloe vera. Toothache, you can use arnica, you can use white willow bark, which is nature's anti-inflammatory and nature's pain relief. You can use that. You can also use oil pulling, things like coconut oil, etc. Earaches, you can use hydrogen peroxide, extremely powerful, just like dilute it, things like that. So everything that you can use, everything that you've got in terms of those ailments, you can use nature. Nature's got perfect remedies for it. Nausea as well. Ginger's fantastic for that. If you ever get nausea or travel or motion sickness, ginger's fantastic for that. Probiotics you can use. You know, sometimes you'll get these symptoms if you're going through a detoxification, or if you're going, the body's trying to expel toxins. Remember, men have got 4 ways of getting rid of toxins: breath, sweat, urine, and stool. Women have got 5. They've also got a menstrual cycle. It's one of the reasons why they live longer, because they actually bloodlet. They get rid of toxins more than we do. It's why the men in Finland who use a sauna 3 to 7 times a week, they also live 7 years longer than the average man in Europe, because once again they're purging their body of toxins. So there's lots of things you can do naturally when it comes to that. So there's a little dog in the background. Lots of things you can do naturally. I remember I said before that the doctor it's just a tool in a toolbox. Only go to them if you need it. Accident, emergency only, life and death only. This is also why using things like intermittent fasting is extremely powerful. For men, you can do it 5 to 7 days a week, not a problem. For women 3 to 4 times a week is enough for you. Otherwise, it can be too stressful for your system. Remember, you've got not only a monthly cycle, you've also got a menstrual cycle, so you've got 2 hormonal cycles going on, and fasting can actually push you into that starvation mode, survival mode, too much long. Fasting for too long can do that. So, 3 to 4 days a week is good, but one of the things that going into that fasting state does, it goes you into actually going to autophagy, and that means the body starts to eat the dead, diseased, decaying cells, and it starts to replace them with healthy, young, new cells. That's why it's extremely powerful. It's youthing. It's great for getting rid of toxins and debris and clearing anything that's in there that needs to come out. And as you go through those, if you've been intermittent fasting, you'll probably notice you can go through extreme hunger, you can feel a little bit sick, nauseous, you may get a headache, etc. That is actually the body clearing. Okay, it's completely normal. One of the things you get a healing crisis, you can get bad breath, you can get goop in your eye, discharge. You can also, women can get vaginal discharge. You can get skin eruptions, diarrhea, gas. The list is endless. Nasal drip, for example. So just know that as you're going through these things, and they're not always a bad thing, but when your body's in pain, it is telling you something. It's the pain teacher. So if you keep on getting headaches, keep on getting nauseous, if you keep on getting toothaches, etc., something's off. Like, what are you eating? Headaches, toothache, well, headaches especially. Are you having things with E numbers in? Allergenic inflammatory foods, wheat, gluten, soy, pasteurized, homogenized dairy, seed oils. One of these things you always do, and this is why it's important to understand that your body will tell you when something's off, because your body's natural state is health. It wants to be healthy. It's just all the things that we do in the modern lifestyle that bring it out of that state. So you don't need to stress about going to doctors if you need them. One of the things that actually started this conversation was about UTIs, which I will do another video on for women about UTIs, how you can get over that naturally, and why you don't want to be constantly taking antibiotics, because that will just drive the problem deeper and it'll come back more painful. And I'll get on to what causes them and other things along that regard. But you don't have to be anxious about going to hospital. You just need to realise that you don't need a hospital unless it's, as I said before, broken bone, severe burns, stitches, etc. Chronic injuries, chronic health problems, whatever it may be, or diseases, they haven't got a clue. All they can do is offer cut, burn, poison, so like medication or surgery, or to burn you with radiation. One of the things I'm also going to be going on to another video about is about that radioactive iodine. Do you need that? Do you need chemotherapy? No. Put simply, would I give radioactive iodine to a healthy person? No. Why not? Well, because it would poison them. So why would you give it to an unhealthy person? Doesn't make sense. And one of the things I actually get told a lot is, Ryan, when you speak, it makes a lot of sense. It's like, yes, because we're coming from a place of common sense, giving the body what it wants to be healthy. We're not fighting disease, cut, burn, poison, medicate, we're trying to regenerate health. Once you regenerate health, a healthy body never gets disease. It lives in a state of homeostasis and balance. And so when you get aches, ailments, etc., nausea, your body's telling you something's not right here. What are you doing? Have you been doing enough movement, or have you been doing too much? Have you been eating too many foods that are not conducive to your body? Have you been having enough water? Have you been getting enough sunlight? Have you been watching the TV too much screen time? Have you been spending time with loved ones? Have you been taking regular cold showers to get rid of the inflammation in your body? There's lots of things. Have you been listening to uplifting music? Have you been concentrating too much on the mainstream media and all that stress that's coming in? Remember, that's all everything in the mainstream is all designed to create fear, to put you in your sympathetic and nervous system, so you're in your fight and flight, you're not in your rest and digest, all these things, okay? So you have to look at that. A lot of times people just go to the doctor because they want to continue to live the life that they're living, or they just don't know better, which is fair enough. But a lot of people want to continue to live the life they live and just take a pill. It doesn't work that way. If you want to create health, it's why I always talk about every day we do these things. Go for some movement, get sunlight, journal, cold shower, listen to uplifting music or podcasts, stay away from the mainstream media, eat high quality nutritious foods, staying away from all the allergenic inflammatory options, making sure you get enough water. All these things are going to keep you in good stead. And if you do get a burn or a graze, aloe vera, raw honey, nausea, ginger, headaches, white willow bark, make sure you're hydrated, time away from the screen, you know, toothache, arnica, once again, white willow bark, oil pulling, lots of things you can do there, okay? But I hope that helps, guys and girls. Remember, the doctors are just a tool that need to be used, or should only use when, you know, life or death, or in a situation where, you know, broken leg, things like that, accident, emergency. Otherwise, you're your own best doctor. And look, if you haven't got a coach and you want to learn these things, hit me up with a message on Facebook, Instagram, or even better actually, because some of my messages aren't coming through, send me an email at ryan@reviveyourself.co. That's ryan@reviveyourself.co, and I'll get back to you. If you've got any health issues you want to overcome, or you just want to learn how to get better and to live healthiest, and that's what we can do. You know, everyone needs coaches. It's not like a slight on you. All the best athletes, they'll have coaches. How do you expect to get to the next level unless you're learning off someone and get rid of all the noise and overwhelm? So if you want to do that, perfect. Otherwise, follow everything we say here. And remember, you are your own best doctor, and that's what we want to do here at Revive, is teach you how to do that. Not only get you healthy, but keep you healthy. And that's the real key, right? As always, people, lots of love, stay happy, stay healthy. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.